Hey, what's up? DFS Rico coming at you with my picks and insight for this LPL LCK 6-game slate on Sunday, April 5th. Before I get started, if you can like, subscribe, comment at the end of the video if you got any questions. And so let's get started. I'm gonna get started by just showing the favorites on the slate. It's usually how I like to start. And early on, you got in the LPL, you got JD Gaming over LNG Esports, Edward Gaming over Billy Gaming, and Invictus Gaming over RNG. Then in the LCK, you got T1 over Dam1 Gaming, which is the biggest favorites on the slate. Not many huge favorites as we're used to today. And then APK Prince favorited over Griffin, and Freak of Freaks favorited over HLE. So those are the favorites early on. If you're going to be looking at GPPs or cash, if you're looking for cash, you're going to be playing guys from T1, EDG, and APK. I think those are the safest picks as far as like not getting upset. I think they're in the best matchups. They've been playing really well as well, so they got a lot going for them. T1 is the best team in the LCK, so they're just really consistent. They're not going to blow the team out the water. They're not going to have high, crazy scores like some of the LPL teams, but they are favorited. So if I'm looking at cash, I'm looking at T1, EDG, and APK. If you're looking more like GPP, RNG can beat IG. RNG did just beat E-Star. They're on a 4-game winning streak. They are playing really good. They beat a lot of the teams that are playing today, like EDG and JDG, which are other really good teams. 4-match win streak. But Invictus Gaming is a really good team as well. Early on, I'm leaning towards playing T1, EDG, JD Gaming, APK, and then just kind of a toss-up between IG and RNG. I think Invictus Gaming has the highest upside as far as the team on the slate, so if you're looking for upside in GPPs, that's probably where I'd look to. And then the Freak of Freaks and HLE is not really a crazy matchup. They both, actually, they're the two worst teams on the slate as far as deaths per game. So you got that going for them, but neither team is really going to pop off in my opinion. They're both really bad teams. And then now, before I run through the positions, I'm just going to run through some things on the slate that catch my attention. So as far as the kill leaders on the slate, you got Invictus Gaming's Puff. He leads the slate with 5.91 per game. Then you got APK's Hybrid for 5.13 per game. Then you got EDG's Hope for 4.88 kills per game. Those are the three leaders on the slate as far as kills per game. Then you got your assists per game. Invictus Gaming, you got Southwind with 10.22. JDG's Support. LV Mao with 9.04. And then Effort for T1 with 7.86. Sorry about that. And then the player of the games on the slate, usually, which is, in the LPL and the LCK, they usually give out a player of the game for every single game. It's usually the winning team's player. And Kanavi, the jungler for JDG, leads the slate. Then you got Hope for EDG and Rookie for IG. Those are the three leaders on the slate as far as players per game. So, if you're looking to build around, so there's probably some of the key pieces you want to incorporate. But now let's just get started with positions, some of my favorite picks. Up top you got the Shy, which is averages, I think he's the second highest in kills per game on the slate as far as top laners. He is pretty high on deaths per game. He does take a lot of chances. So, if you're going to be stacking Invictus Gaming, I would be including him just because he has a ton of upside. Pretty safe floor as well. He's usually pretty active when the team's succeeding. And then you got Ioti for EDG. Ever since he stepped in the starting lineup, he's been playing really solid. Top lane's not really somewhere I look to pay up, but I do like him as well. Kana for T1 against DWG, obviously in cash. That's not a bad play for GPPs, but just feel like T1 is usually like a cash play for me. And then, Kane, if you're going to play a Freak of Freaks, is pretty solid at the top lane. I think that's really it on the top lane that I'm really looking at. Other than, I guess Iksu for APK. He's been playing really good. I think he's gotten over 80 fantasy points in the last 3 games. They're on a 3-match win streak. Playing really solid. Then jungler. I mentioned Kanavi, the most player of the games on the slate. He's been playing really solid, so can't go wrong with him. It says he's questionable. I'll have to look into that, but I don't even think they have another jungler on their team. Let me run through them really quick. Yeah, I don't think. Yeah, so Kanavi seems like to play. Probably the best jungler on the slate. Super high upside. Just consistent player. Usually when the team's playing well, it's usually due in part because he's putting a lot of pressure on the map. And then you got Junji for EDG as well. I like him in a really good matchup, as I mentioned before. He's pretty good for either GPP or Cash as well. Against a BLG, good matchup. And then depending who starts for Kuz or for T1, Kuz or Elim, I do like either one of those guys. Leon, really good play as well against RNG if you're thinking they're gonna win. Ever since he stepped in the starting lineup, they've won 8 of their last 9 games. They've only dropped 1 game, and I think the game that they dropped, it wasn't even due in part because of him. They actually subbed him in after Ning had a bad game, and then ever since then, Leon has been in the starting lineup, and they haven't dropped a game ever since they put him in. So he's been playing really solid. Another guy I want to mention is Flawless for APK, since I do really like Flawless. They just beat T1 tonight. Doesn't show the stats yet, but he had a really good game too. He had a player of the game on game 3, I believe. Put on a lot of pressure early on, and they ended up winning because of him. Mid lane, we got Rookie up top. I think he has the highest ceiling on the slate, in my opinion. So if you're going to be paying up, he's probably one of the guys I'll be looking for. Really good player. If you watch him play, he's really, really good. And Scout for EDG, 8.8 kills per match, 13.2 assists per match. Nothing too crazy, but he is a key piece of their success. Yagao for JDG, nothing too special. Faker, obviously, for T1. If you're playing them, I would make sure I include him. Really good player. One of the best players in the world for sure. Then you got Cover for APK. He's been playing really solid in this 3-match win streak. I think that's really all I'm looking at. Obviously, if you're looking at upsets for RNG, Xiaohu, someone I would include in there. He's been playing really good. RNG is in a 4-match win streak, so they're not a slouch. Should be a good matchup for sure. AD carry, Hope up top, as I mentioned. He is top 3 in kills per game with a 4.88, which is really solid. For Edward Gaming, like I mentioned, I like their matchup a ton, so he's someone I'll be looking at. And then Puff was number 1 on the slate with most kills per game with 5.91. Do like him. If I'm stacking him IG, I'd want to include him and Rookie in my lineups for sure. Maybe if you can stack him with one of the underdogs, he might have a good chance at winning some big money. And then who else do we got? Teddy. 4.31 kills per game, T1. He's probably the key piece I would include in my T1 stack if I am playing in cash lineups. He's a really solid player, really consistent player for sure. And then Hybrid, just had another player of the game tonight. He's been killing it on these last 2 games, 105, 115. I think he put up 110 today. It's a really good player. I do like Hybrid a lot. He's a key piece out of APK that I would want in my stacks for sure. And then Betty for RNG. If I am going for that upset, I do like him as well. He's been playing really good. 4.57 kills per game ever since he got into the starting line because he wasn't initially starting. So I do like him. Then we got support. The guys I mentioned up top that lead the slate on assists per game, Southwind and LV Mao. Can't go wrong with either of them. And then if you're going to be rounding out, your T1 stack effort's not too bad. Secret for APK is a solid play. Had a good game today again. Like I mentioned, they are in a 3-match win streak, and then I expect them to be 4. Griffin's really bad. I think Griffin's on a 9-match losing streak, if I remember correctly. They lost 9 matches in a row, which is absurd. So I think that's it. I mean, like I mentioned, T1, Edwards Gaming, they're the most expensive because I think they're the safest. So can't go wrong with them in cash. And then I do, like I mentioned, I like the APK. They're not heavily favored, but I do like them a lot in cash as well. And then, I mean, JD, Gaming, Invictus, and Freaks are solid as well. But then if you want to play the other side, you can also play RNG and LNG to upset, and even HLE just because you don't know what's going to happen with that AF and HLE game. Both teams are really bad, so I'd probably just avoid them just because they don't have crazy upside. But I think that's it. Just thanks for watching. Like, comment, subscribe. Go ahead and ask any questions. If you see, I'll usually reply back. So thank you.